All right, guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Adam McKola. Manchester United have lost 1-0 against FC Basel after a late winner for the Swiss side in Switzerland. Really annoying that. Really annoying because in the first half, Manchester United dominated. Manchester United had that game in our hands. We should have been going in at halftime 1-0, 2-0 up, and coming into the second half, being able to relax a little bit. In the second half, though, we weren't at the races. We weren't good enough. We didn't take control of the game. We didn't take control of the ball. And you always felt like FC Basel were growing in confidence. Their crowd were growing in confidence. And all they needed today was a win or a draw to keep their hopes alive. So whilst the game's at 0-0, keeps going at 0-0, they were just growing in confidence. So were their fans. And you knew all they needed was one opportunity to get the win. And that's what they got. And that's what they did. They got the win. And that is really disappointing from a Manchester United perspective because this is a game that in the first half, I thought Anthony Martial, whilst he started slowly, he started to warm up towards the end of the first half. I thought Paul Pogba dominated the show from the midfield, and I thought he was pulling the strings for Manchester United. I don't think we really created any real clear-cut opportunities in the first half. But it was clear that if one team was going to win it, it was going to be Manchester United. We were dominating the game. We did have a few chances from headers and things like that and crosses into the box. And we were getting there. You felt we should have been up at half-time. And in the second half, we'll go on and win the game comfortably. But the second half, that performance just didn't come. We didn't push on following the first half performance. We didn't go for their throats. We didn't really try to make anything happen. And I'm not going to blame the team selection because I felt the team selection was fair today. Romero starting. I haven't got a problem with Romero starting. Darmian starting. Blind. Rojo. I haven't got a problem with any of these guys starting. Smalling. You got Pogba. You got Herrera. Fellaini. Why would we have any problems with these guys playing? We started with a strong team today. Martial, Lukaku, Lingard. So I don't think it's the team selection, although Jose Mourinho made a few changes from the team that played against Newcastle and would have played if we needed to really win this game today. So I don't think it was the selection. I think maybe it was a motivational thing. Maybe it was the manager after half-time at 0-0. He kind of felt, let's just see this game out at 0-0. We don't have to exert ourselves too much. Or maybe the players just didn't perform for him in that second half. And as a result, we've lost the game. But it's left a really sour taste, a really frustrated feeling after that because I wanted to win. I'm not going to lie. I wanted United to make it 5 out of 5 and get 15 points out of 15, but we didn't. Now, to those people that are laughing, I can see a Liverpool fan laughing in here. We're top of the group. What are you laughing about? I feel like part of the reason we lost today is because we approached this game like we were already through. And look, we have to sit back and think, does it matter that much? No. Remember last time we went to Switzerland and lost against Basel, we got knocked out of the Champions League. So no, it doesn't matter that much. But what you do have to have a look at is, in the second half particularly, you look at the performance of the likes of Darmian, Daley Blind. Were they good enough today? And the answer in the second half would be no. The fringe players weren't good enough. And if you're someone like Matteo Darmian, if you're someone like Daley Blind, that's in and out of the team, when you get a chance, you need to take your chance and win or put in a good performance even if we don't win. And I don't feel either of those players did a good enough job there today. I don't think they did a good enough job there today at all. So whilst, yes, we made a lot of changes, those players that come in have to be on it. They have to be on it because you're playing in a team that's full of competition for places, has got quality players in every position. And when you're getting a chance, you can't approach this like, we've already qualified from the Champions League. This game don't matter today. Well, it does matter today because if you play badly, you're not going to be in the team next. So, we need those fringe players to be performing. We need them to be performing, and they didn't do that in the second half. And I keep saying in the second half because in the first half, like I said, we dominated the game and we just didn't get the goal. In the second half, we weren't good enough, and we weren't good enough at all. Someone mentioning Basel. Basel have beaten a lot of English sides, You guys are getting way too excited talking about all that stuff. Basel have beaten a lot of sides. And Viviano is a fan of Adam McKola TV. And they say, subscribe to Adam McKola TV. You can, because the link is in the description. So go and click that link in the description and subscribe to youtube.com/Adam McKola TV. Thank you very much. But like I'm saying, It's been a disappointing day for Manchester United today in Switzerland. We've lost our 100% record in the Champions League. I wanted 5 out of 5, and I'm frustrated that we haven't got that. But the overall feeling, and even whilst I was watching the game, I kind of felt like this game doesn't mean much. And you could tell on the pitch, the players were playing like it. But the players aren't fans. The players aren't me sitting in the office, sitting in the studio watching the game. The players are out there. The players can't be rolling up thinking we've qualified. They need to be at the races on their game, and they weren't. So they need to fix up, that's for starters. The fringe players can't be performing like that because, mate, how are you performing like that? Blind Darmian, do you want to play? Do you want to play on Saturday? I didn't see any performances from people like that. Silence is overreacting. Who's overreacting, mate? Who's overreacting? I would like to know. No penetration, says Mutanji. Please drop. That's full-time Devils. No urgency again. Not really an excuse, says James. It would have been the first time we've won all group stage matches. Yeah, really disappointed about that one. White take off Martial. He would have scored, says Anthony Martial, funnily enough. I thought Anthony Martial played very, very well in the first half today. Second half, he was a little bit quiet, but I felt we were in an attacking sense. How come we've got so many Liverpool fans in here today? Have you finally come out from under your rock? Didn't you lose a 3-goal lead yesterday to the team you lost to in the Europa League final? Do you remember that? Another final that Klopp couldn't win. And you're still in our comments section. You guys are crazy. We're top of our league. We're second in the league. Where are you, lot? Hasn't Brendan Rodgers got a comparable record to David Moyes and Jurgen Klopp? What's all that about? Brendan Rodgers, Jurgen Klopp. Peas in a pod. Blind was shocking. We predicted 3-1. Oh, I did predict a win today. I predicted United to win 2-0, and we didn't. And this was a poor Basel side as well. This wasn't as good as the side that beat us in 2011, the one that had Sebastian Fry and Shaqiri and all that in. This was a side that weren't great. And you could tell as the game along, they were just growing in confidence, growing and growing and growing in confidence. And then they got the goal really late. And I felt sorry for Sergio Romero as well because he was playing very well up until that point. I thought Sergio Romero looked like a boss. I thought he deserved a clean sheet today. Darmian and Blind probably didn't deserve a clean sheet today, but he definitely did. Rojo was solid, says Aducha. Yes, that's a big, big positive today. Thought Marcus Rojo played superbly well. Few crunching challenges, few very good challenges. And I thought Marcus Rojo, it was great to have Marcus Rojo back today. So delighted with him being back in the team. Good to get him back. Can we get Bailly and Rojo back together again against Brighton? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Shaw is better than Blind, says one of the other comments. Why isn't Shaw playing? If we're going to play the likes of Darmian and Blind that don't look arsed or aren't able to put a performance in, then why not play? Luke Shaw. Herrera was terrible, says Achkrad. Terrible is probably a strong word. I don't think he was great today. I think he had a bad game. And I would probably... What's going on with Herrera? Is it all these contract negotiations? Is he off? Does he want to be at United? What's going on there? Is Jose... what's happening with Ander Herrera, this guy that, was one of our most influential players last season? Is it just a bad run of form for him? Form is temporary, class is permanent, all that jazz. Is it? Darmian looks like he doesn't want to be there. Blind and Darmian are donkeys. What a load of bollocks. Should have played Tuanzebe. Yeah, I agree with that one. And that's annoying as well. Because if we get a point today, we can rest players before that Man City game. And now we have to go into the CSKA game knowing that we need a point to get top spot. That is annoying. Really annoying. Really, really annoying. Lingard, nah, shut up. Shaw's got an attitude. How do you know Shaw's got an attitude problem? I don't get where people come from with these things. Shaw's got, have you been on the phone to him? Have you been in training? Can't just make things up about people. He might have an attitude problem, but we don't know that. Relax, people. United will go all the way up. Don't renew any of that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down. Shit hit the pan. He hasn't hit the fan. Danny Rose, question mark. Shaw looks upset, said James. I'd rather play Terrell Warren. Twanzebe is better than Smalling. Anthony Martial's crossing. Yeah, he had a few good whips into that box today. Though Anthony Martial looked good at times. They're just showing the Basel chances again in the second half. They had way more chances than us in the second half. Whereas in the first half, we were dominated. Look, a point was probably the fair result today on the whole base of the game. But in that second half, if anyone was going to score, it felt like Basel. And because of that, they probably deserve it. But yeah, United were poor in that second half, particularly. Rojo was quality, says Jay. Rojo would probably get my man of the match as well. I thought Paul Pogba was our best player in the first half. Made us tick, made us click. Everything was going through him. Second half, I thought Rojo. I don't really want to give any United player a man of the match after we've just lost, but Rojo was good today. And I think, look, we've lost today. It's disappointing. I wanted to get 5 out of 5. We've lost against a shit-sided Basel. That's really annoying. But qualification still in our own hands. We only need 1 point to finish top of the group. And maybe the players today just weren't at the races because of the simple fact that they didn't feel they had to be. Now, that's not a good attitude to have, but it maybe explains the result. At least I hope that's the reason for the result, because losing to Basel, that's something you don't want to be doing, particularly with the knockout stages coming up. We've got some big games coming up after this final group game against CSKA. And, yeah, we need to get back on track, starting with Brighton on Saturday. I'm not overly gutted about this result, but we can't dwell on it too much, and we can't let this become... We can't play like this against CSKA Moscow is what I'm saying. Because if we play like this against CSKA Moscow, we might not end up top in the group, and that would be an absolute stupid position to be in. Anyway, guys, what I will say before I go is it's not all doom and gloom today. We were with Eric Cantona earlier, and the video will be up on Full Time Devils tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share to that. Subscribe to Adam McKola TV. The link is in the description below the bit.ly link /Adam McKola TV. You can click that. You can subscribe. Get subscribed. I'm trying to hit 50k before the end of the year. And yeah, we're obviously not going to have any fan cams today because we're not at the game. But we will have something up for you tomorrow in the form of a Cantona vid. We're 3 points clear at the top of the group. We've got a 4-goal difference. We're plus 4 goals better than Basel. Point will do it against CSKA Moscow, but we need to get that point first, and we thought we were going to get it today, and look what happened. Anyway, guys, you lot have been absolute legends. Thank you for bearing with us today. I am going to get out of here now. Thank you for bearing with us. Make sure you keep it locked, and I'm out.